Moving to Florida with a pet?
Watch this video first.
There's a lot of things you'll want to consider if you're planning on moving to Florida. There's a lot of things that we didn't realize would be a thing, that were a thing, and there was a lot of things we were worried about before moving down. In this video, we want to make sure we cover all the important things that you need to know.
If you're interested in moving to the Sarasota area, I am a realtor here in Venice, and I can help you find a home in the surrounding areas.
Information for that will be in the description below.
So first things first, you do want to make sure that wherever you are moving into, whether you're renting or buying, you make sure that your pet's going to be allowed. If you're moving to a condo or a house that is on an HOA community, you do have to make sure to get those documents to see or call the HOA company, or your realtor should be finding out what kinds of pets are allowed and what the weight restrictions are.
In a condo, generally lower weights are going to be allowed, sometimes not even allowing pets at all. Most houses in an HOA community are going to allow pets up to a certain weight. Most breeds will be okay. There are occasionally some restrictions, just going to depend on the HOA that you're looking into, or maybe you want to find something that doesn't have an HOA, so then you don't got to worry about it.
Something to take into consideration too when moving down to Florida is allergies.
That was a big one that we did not see coming. It blindsided us. Our dog was constantly scratching, itching. Poor Jasmine was keeping us up at night. We were getting mad at her, but we didn't realize how much more pollen and things are in the air, because all year round things grow here. So when things grow all year round around here, that means there's a lot more pollen in the air in peak seasons and even in the down season, which is for some plants winter, but other plants are thriving during winter. There's still a lot of pollen in the air. So because of that, a lot of dogs, it's actually very common to have allergic reactions here, whereas Wisconsin, she wasn't really getting that. So it took us a while to figure it out. Finally took her to the vet. They gave us something called Apoquil. I think there's some other options. You could even potentially, I've heard, use Benadryl. Consult the vet. That's not my job. Apoquil, it works like a charm. She hasn't had too much problems with that since.
Another thing to keep into consideration when moving down to Florida is alligators. Especially if you have a pond in your backyard, you do have to be careful with your pets and kids for that matter, because the alligators, they might come out of the pond and eat your pet, so you don't want that.
To put things into context, like we have a retention pond behind us. A lot of homes in Florida are gonna have retention ponds basically to prevent flooding. That being said, in our experience, most times alligators are more afraid of us than we are of them, and if they happen to be out, they'll run and go right into the pond if they're somewhat near. But you don't want to assume anything, and that's also us. When you're talking about a small dog, that might be an issue. A small cat, that might be an issue. Bigger dog, probably not as much of an issue, but again, do you really want to find out who's going to win that fight? I don't think so. You always want to keep that in mind, and you know, if possible, maybe have a fence or have your dog on a short leash, and usually even then, stay outside with it if it doesn't have a fence.
We've never seen the alligator come like even close to our lawn. They typically stay in the water or by the shoreline, but at the same time, just because we don't want to risk it, if our dog needs to go out, we still go out with her and keep her on a leash, and we don't let her just be on her own outside, even though I'm sure she would love to be out there all day smelling.
One thing to also keep in mind is, of course, the logistics of moving down with a pet. I'm sure you've probably thought about this. For us, we were worried because we were gonna drive down with our dog, and we were worried how she's gonna handle being in the car that long, going out for potty breaks. What we ended up doing was just getting these small little collapsible pet dishes. We use those to feed her, try to take breaks from time to time. But honestly, I was personally worried that she was gonna get whiny and want to get out of the car. She pretty much slept the whole way down, so it wasn't a big deal for us. But for you, you know, you might want to keep in mind your dog. I've never tried this with our dog, but they have like herbs or whatever that can like help calm your dog down. Something to maybe look into. I
do remember too that she did get whiny a little bit at the beginning of the trip because she wanted to get there right away. So we would just go to like a gas station or whatever and just like let her out, let her smell, back in the car, and then she was fine. We did that as well when we moved from the Orlando area to Venice.
Maybe that's something that can help you if you got a dog that maybe take it to the dog park a lot or whatever the case may be. It's gonna be antsy to get out and go somewhere. Just
because they think they know where they're going.
Yeah, so once you maybe let it out of the car somewhere new, let it smell a little, go to the bathroom, it might calm down.
A big perk in Venice, Florida, where we live, is that there is a dog beach.
That's awesome.
And you can actually let your dog be off their leash if you're comfortable with that. We never let ours off the leash.
She would just keep swimming out to the ocean.
That's something you can do, and a lot of people just go there, take their dogs, and just like relax. Like they also enjoy the beach. It's not like you're just there to play with dogs. I've seen dogs playing with each other.
And you'll also want to think about, wherever you're going to move, if they have, dog parks, things like that, or is the city in general pet friendly. Venice, you can go downtown. There's water dishes sitting outside storefronts everywhere. A lot of places have outdoor seating. I can't think of a place that hasn't allowed us to bring our dog to sit outside. Things like that are maybe things you'll want to consider with whatever neighborhood, city, whatever it is that you're looking to move to.
Pretty much all restaurants that we've been to, they'll actually bring you a water bowl for your dog with like ice in it. So like they also get a luxurious treatment.
That brings us to another thing to really consider with Florida. Florida is very hot, and dogs get hot easy because they, as far as my understanding, get rid of most of their heat through panting, and then the tongue comes out and it gets real long. We all know the story. You always want to keep in mind, how long you're spending outside. If you're gonna go somewhere and be outside for a while, especially in the middle of summer, try to bring some water with, or get your dog into some air conditioning somewhere at some point. Last thing you want to do is have your pet have an issue because of the heat.
And I mean, you can get those collapsible bowls that your pet, you can even put it on their leash, so you don't even have to carry it, and then just buy water or something like that. If you're looking to move down to the area, I am a realtor in Sarasota County and surrounding areas. My information will be in the description box below.
If you found the video helpful, be sure to subscribe, turn on all notifications, hit the like button, it helps us a ton, and live breezy.